Hansel and Gretel, a magical journey of kindness and courage. Once upon a time, in a small, cozy village nestled beside a dark, mysterious forest, there lived two kind-hearted siblings named Hansel and Gretel. They loved each other dearly and always looked out for one another. But times were hard, and their family had very little to eat. Every day, their stomachs rumbled with hunger, and they wished for better days. One evening, as the golden sun set behind the towering trees, Hansel and Gretel overheard their stepmother whispering a terrible plan. She wanted to take the children deep into the forest and leave them there, far away from home. Hansel and Gretel's hearts filled with fear, but they knew they had to be brave. That night, under the glow of a full moon that lit up the shadowy forest, Hansel came up with a clever plan. "We'll leave a trail of breadcrumbs," he whispered to Gretel, "so we can find our way back home." They didn't know that the forest held many secrets and magical creatures that would soon help them on their journey. The next morning, as their stepmother led them deep into the heart of the enchanted forest, Hansel quietly dropped breadcrumbs along the path, hoping they could follow the trail back home. But as the day wore on, the birds of the forest swooped down and ate every crumb, leaving the children lost in the woods. Just as they began to feel hopeless, a soft glow of moonlight revealed a hidden path leading to a wondrous sight, a house made entirely of candy. Its walls were made of gingerbread, the roof was covered in sparkling gumdrops, and the windows were framed with creamy frosting. Hansel and Gretel's eyes widened in disbelief. "Can this be real?" Gretel asked in awe. Curious and hungry, the children approached the magical candy house, their mouths watering at the sweet smell. They couldn't resist taking a bite of the sugary roof. But as they nibbled on the delicious treats, a gentle voice echoed through the trees. "Welcome, young travelers," said the voice, soft and kind. Startled, Hansel and Gretel looked around and were amazed to see a beautiful, glowing fairy of the forest hovering before them. She had shimmering wings like those of a butterfly, and her smile was warm and comforting. "I am the fairy of the forest," she said with a twinkle in her eyes. "This candy house is my gift to you. I have watched over you, and I know the kindness in your hearts. You are brave, and you will always be safe in this magical forest." Hansel and Gretel were overjoyed by the fairy's kindness. They shared their story of how their stepmother had left them in the forest, and the fairy listened with compassion. "Fear not, little ones," she said, her voice filled with comfort. "I will guide you back home and protect you from harm." With the fairy's guidance, Hansel and Gretel followed a path through the moonlit forest. The trees no longer felt frightening, and the animals of the forest seemed to smile at them as they passed. As they neared their village, the fairy of the forest gave them a special gift, a bag filled with food and magical seeds. "These seeds will bring you and your family prosperity," the fairy said. "Plant them in your garden, and they will grow into something wonderful." Hansel and Gretel thanked the fairy with all their hearts. When they returned home, they planted the magical seeds in their empty garden. Soon, the garden bloomed into a beautiful and bountiful place, filled with fruits, vegetables, and flowers more colorful than any they had ever seen. They didn't keep the food for themselves. With kind hearts, Hansel and Gretel shared their harvest with their neighbors, and soon, the entire village began to flourish. Word of the magical garden spread far and wide, and people came from all over to see the wonders of Hansel and Gretel's land. Their stepmother, who had once been so unkind, saw the beauty of their garden and the happiness it brought to others. She felt a deep sorrow for her past actions and asked Hansel and Gretel for forgiveness. The siblings, with their gentle hearts, forgave her, and their family was reunited with love and understanding. From that day forward, Hansel and Gretel's lives were filled with happiness. The fairy of the forest continued to watch over them, blessing their family and their village with peace and prosperity. The magical garden became a symbol of kindness, courage, and the power of friendship. And so, dear children, Hansel and Gretel learned that even in the darkest of forests, kindness and bravery can light the way. With love in their hearts and the magic of the forest around them, they lived happily ever after. The end.